Welcome back to the Little Piece of Heart Kitchen. Kathleen Hart here, and I'm here to tell you guys that summer is not over yet. I refuse to believe that it is Labor Day or that Labor Day has just passed. So I'm wearing my Beach Lovers t-shirt. It's still nice and warm out. We still have fresh veggies and fruits available, so I'm gonna keep cooking low carb summer style and show you guys how to make a great appetizer, side dish, you know, whatever your heart desires. It's a balsamic marinated tomato, and it is so good, so simple, using a lot of fresh, in-season, and just healthy vegetables. So take a look at what we got. We have some tomatoes here, fresh tomatoes, some balsamic vinegar, just plain old balsamic. Here I have a VitaBlend mix of chard, kale, and a little bit of spinach. Any green vegetable will do, any leafy green. This is just what my grocery store had. We have some onion and garlic, salt and pepper, of course, and then some Parmesan cheese and a little bit of mozzarella cheese. To start off with this whole dish, we have to marinate the marinated tomatoes. So I'm gonna take my tomatoes and I'm gonna slice them into pretty thick slices, because what we're gonna do with these is we're going to end up sauteing our greens with our onion and garlic, topping that onto the marinated tomato, putting the cheese on top, and then popping them under the broiler. So you're gonna see what it looks like right now, because I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. So now that you saw how good it looks, let me show you how easy it is. So, like I said, we're gonna start off by slicing our tomatoes. Ready? Now that I have my tomatoes all sliced, I just wanna show you, this is about how thick I like to make them. Just like a thick tomato slice. So now, what I'm gonna do is put them in here, just lay them down in one thin layer. So I'm using this big baking sheet because I think it's just the easiest way to get all the tomatoes in here. Now, these tops and the bottoms, feel free, sprinkle some salt and pepper, have a snack. We don't need them in this. You could certainly do the bottoms if you want to, but I feel like it's too much skin, so I just want the inside of the tomato slices. So we're gonna set those aside. Now what we're gonna do is take our balsamic vinegar and just pour it right on top. And then we're gonna let these sit in the balsamic. You can turn them halfway if you want to, but if you kind of like move them around a little bit like this, it makes it so that the balsamic coats the bottom and the top. And we're gonna let them sit like this for 10 minutes. And as soon as 10 minutes go by, we will be ready to top them with our greens. So while they're marinating, I'm actually gonna show you how I'm gonna saute the greens with the onion and garlic. So meet me over by the stove. All right, so now we're at the stove. I wanted to just show you guys, I took the tomatoes out of the marinade. They're still kind of soaking in it, which is totally fine. I put them on a baking sheet lined with foil, and I sprayed with a little cooking spray. Not that you have to, but I'm a little paranoid when it comes to my baking sheets, so I don't want anything to stick. So they're there, they're waiting for us. I reserved the balsamic from the baking sheet right here. We're gonna need that in just a minute. I have my oil heating here, about 1 tablespoon over medium heat. And I'm going to add in my onion and my garlic. And I want to saute this for about 2 minutes. And I want it to get nice and soft before I add my greens in. Nice and soft veggies, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And now at this point, we're gonna add the greens in. Now this is a 5-ounce package, I only need half of this. So I'm just gonna plop it in. And this is actually gonna cook down a lot. So this will actually end up being the perfect amount for our tomatoes. But now that they're in, I want to move it around. I want to get them coated in a little bit of oil that's in the bottom. And I want to wilt down my greens, and then we're going to put the balsamic in, but I need the greens to wilt first. And just like that, our greens are nice and wilted. At this point, I'm going to give a little pinch of salt. Not much, maybe not even 1/8 of a teaspoon. And then same thing for pepper, right on top. Give this one last mix. And then now what I'm gonna do is take my reserved balsamic from the marinated tomatoes, pour it right in. And this is going to bubble up and evaporate fairly quickly. So I'm just going to stir, 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 stir until the liquid evaporates. So my balsamic vinegar has pretty much all evaporated from my greens. So what I'm gonna do to the tomatoes now is just do a little bit of salt right on top of the tomatoes, because we haven't seasoned them yet, but you wanna make sure you season the tomatoes themselves. So a little bit of salt and just a little bit of pepper on each slice, just a little sprinkling. Last two. Tomatoes love salt and pepper. I could eat them just like that. So next, we're going to take our greens, and we're just gonna do a little dollop on each tomato, just like this. Now that my greens are all topped, we're gonna add the cheese. So I'm using a combination of mozzarella and some Parmesan. You can really do any kind of cheese that you like, that you prefer, doesn't really matter. You can even leave it out really, but then you would just be popping it under the broiler, not trying to melt the cheese, just kind of warm the tomato through. So I've also used provolone before, that's really good. You could use some Gruyere. I'm gonna top with a little bit of mozzarella on each slice, and then I'm gonna go in with the Parmesan as well, just on top. And last one with some Parmesan. Feel free to go as heavy or as light as you want. Low carb means free for all with cheese, so I'm going for it. All right, we are good to go. I'm gonna pop these into the broiler. Watch your broiler carefully because yours might be more strong or not as strong as mine. It's gonna take about 1 to 2 minutes. I'm gonna watch it carefully and then I'm gonna show you on the plate what they look like. I told you guys, summer is still here. It's still going strong. Let me plate one of these babies up and I will show you just how amazing. I want you to come in and take a look. The tomato is still together. It's nice and warm, but it's not falling apart because we cut it so thickly. That doesn't make any sense. Just come on in here, guys. Look how amazing this looks. You can see the melted cheese, the balsamic, the veggies, and the tomato is still held together because of the thickness that I cut it, and we are ready to just dig into this. The perfect side dish, actually any time of the year. As long as you can find some good tomatoes, you're good to go. So let me cut right into this. Ooh, my goodness, amazing. Try not to make a total mess of it. There we go. Perfect. I want to get a mouthful of everything. All right. The perfect bite right here. Wow. Because we marinated the tomato, it really takes on a big, bold flavor just from 10 minutes of marinating some good balsamic vinegar. It still has a little bit of a crunch to it, but it's nice and warm. The cheese is gooey. The greens are spot on. I mean, I love sauteed greens, so putting that on top of this is just a match made in heaven if you ask me. But this is a great accompaniment to a picnic. You can make these in bulk. These actually taste pretty good warm or at room temperature, so you can always prep them ahead of time. You can marinate the tomatoes for as long as your heart desires. I mean, it's just vinegar and tomato, so it's whatever you want. To find the exact measurements to this recipe, click on the link below. I will put the link to my blog. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you still love summer, let me know down below in the comments just so I don't feel like I'm the only one. And please check back and subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be sharing a ton more videos about low carb recipes, tips and tricks for being on a low carb diet. And unfortunately, we will be moving to fall soon. Just kidding, I like fall too. But I'll be sharing a ton of recipes for fall too, and then winter, and then back at the beginning of the year again for spring and summer. So I'll see you guys next time.